Race fans, here we are. Alicia, also called the Go Dad. We're excited. As you see, all our racers are ready and at attention there at the start-finish line. We're going to go into these big, long 5-minute heats. Here we go. All right, racers, watch your lights. I'm excited. Our second race here. There we go. All right, we're catching up. Hopefully the stream's coming in good here. My wife is controlling the track tonight, so only she can shut the track off. She has been advised to only shut the track off if the cars are underneath the bridge where they're inaccessible to get to. Everywhere else, people just have to run it. Right out of the gate, Gabriel Kirtley out to an early lead with a fresh out-of-the-box car. Currently turning 3.631 best lap. Actually, we had to rush his car and get it set up before he got here. He ended up selling his car that was previously built for him. He told me to sell it if I could, so I did. I sold it, and I almost think that might be a benefit, as he is already out in the lead on orange. That car, I'll assure you folks, is fresh out of the box. He is our current leader right now with a 3.528. Randy Kirtley there close in tow with a 3.579. Paul Woosley with a 3.641. That's his best time. Glenn Burton 3.685. Bruce Bullington 3.937. Amani Baxter 4.241. Guillermo Sire has a 3.754. One thing I have noticed is that these guys are really super excited about, heard several track calls there. But these guys are super excited about the big checks that they're poised to be able to poster up at the end of the season. Like I said earlier today, we had made a post showing the design of these big checks made by Jamie there at Jamie there at Time Pros. So we're excited to see those come in. When they come in, we might even put a few of them up on the wall. See, Gabriel Kirtley and Randy Kirtley there neck and neck with each other, 3.4 and a 3.5. Gabriel Kirtley come to race for business. Fresh out of the box, like I said, that is the new Mid-America Gemini chassis that Gabriel's running there on Orange Lane with a Mercedes-Benz CLK. Really a pretty nice little paint job that's on that thing. So it's silver with like hyper blue and neon orange for the lettering. So it's very cool looking. All these guys have spectacular looking cars. Paul Woosley there, he's got the neon green with the orange stripe down the center Toyota car. And it's from like, I would say mid-90s era of when they were racing LMP, GTP. A lot of people call them the bubble eye cars. Essentially, that's what he's racing. He started his racing LMP Thunder Series with a Porsche 917 from the same era. But, of course, it suffered some rear end damage from the previous race. And in that race, of course, he took a rocking shot there right on the S-turn early on into that race, causing his back end to fold up several times. Now, he was racing Gabriel Kirtley's car that we built for him, and now has since moved on to his own car and got it weighed in today with a new motor, new gear setup, the whole nine. Several of these guys are testing out new gear setups. Like I said, this is a 5-minute long 5-minute heat. So sometimes you want to gear them long, you probably shouldn't. Sometimes you want to gear it short. I mean, who knows? It's all about a game of guessing at this point until we can get a little bit further into the series. But as of right now, like I said, It's still just a guess. Now, we did get through our first LMP Thunder Series there Thursday nights. If you guys were tuning in, you probably seen a short live video of the final heat there. Everybody made it out without blowing a motor or their motors dogging out on them. None of the brushes were completely obliterated. But I will assure you this, they did get hot. So I just made a midweek order from our distributor to get some of those heat sinks from Mid-America. Those things work great. If you're a slot car racer and you're wondering if they work, I'm here to tell you they do work. Now, I will say this, the glue that holds the magnet in, if it gets too hot, it will come out, but it's a simple fix, a little bit of, sandpaper, and rough it up, and then put a little super glue in there, and you're good to go. Like I said, they're built pretty good. Glenn Burton's been using them since he's got it, and he'll attest to it. Tom Payton also, not here tonight, he's on vacation, but he's in the Thunder Series too. He'll be back ready to go, going fast around this track as soon as possible. The track also, we started the race, put a little glue right before Dead Man's Corner and right there in the S-turns. Guys are still running that in, of course. We got 7 racers tonight, pretty big pack, and guys just getting used to racing next to each other. Seems like everybody's kind of clustering up. Gabriel Kirtley taking a lead there with 44 laps currently now, 2 laps ahead of Randy Kirtley, running a 3.432 best lap. It just goes to show that out-of-the-box cars are still fast. And all you got to do is just be able to know the track, know the rhythm, and know how to keep that car on. But Amani Baxter still in there, right there with Guillermo Sire. Both of these guys got their cars created just since they got here. Amani has contracted Guillermo to get him up and going. What I had seen when they were practicing was some extremely fast cars. Looks like we're getting a little bit of a glitch taking place on the LED lights. For some reason or another, I guess the motor's turning is causing some kind of induction to take place. These are 5-volt lights, so that if they was to short out there, that's Paul Woosley spinning out there in the S-turns there next to Glenn Burton's Sky Active red car and next to Gabriel Kirtley's Mercedes. There on the white lane, we see Bruce Bullington representing American Muscle. So far in the series, the only guy to represent America with that car. And we do love that Cobra Daytona that he uses. Lonnie's car having a little bit of trouble getting there on the red lane. My wife goes to fix him up there on the S-turn. I'm hoping and praying that this stream is doing well. I did a full redo of everything we have to do sometimes here at Lanes Raceway. I know you'll probably hear my voice cut in and out a little bit, but that is for compression purposes, to keep the sound of the pinball down. And I worked on that for about 3 hours last night, trying to get it just right so that if you did hear the pinball machine, it wasn't overzealous. It's kind of dull sounding, a little bit thumpy. That's probably why my voice sounds a little bit deeper also. Simply because I had to cut down on some of the high pitch. It's actually a high pitch sound that pinballs make. We get a little bit of an incident there into the donut corner. My wife there quick on the draw to get them put back in. Everybody's still relatively within 50 to 60 laps of each other. Gabriel Kirtley out there, nothing but smiles as he comes in with a repaired Mercedes there. You see him in the top right corner there on our current leader there, Gabriel Kirtley. Sound of the computer, I guess you guys have probably noticed. You don't hear the tones like you used to. We're having issues with an update on that computer as it's trying to make us go into Windows 11, which I don't know if the software will work on Windows 11 or not. Therefore, I just keep skipping over and exiting out of it. Well, since I started doing that, the sound won't. So I just told the guys, just keep your eyes on the TVs. You see the light. Prepare when they come out. Time to go racing. And they all seem to do fairly well with that advice. Bonnie Baxter there towards the back there on red lane, the hardest lane, running 51 laps currently with a 3.908. A little bit faster there than Bruce with 3.929 on white. Falling right into the mix with our racers. Every one of our racers, like I said, within about 10 laps of each other. Every one of these cars having to weigh 105 grams. Random inspections will take place throughout the race as we race to make sure these guys are meeting weight. If they do not meet weight, there is serious consequences, ladies and gentlemen. they will lose the whole previous heat of laps. So that's serious. They definitely want to be able to meet weight, because if they don't, they're going to pay the consequence. This is our Pro Series. A lot of the guys, to supersede this, instead of relying on the adhesive that some of this lead weight has, they have opted to go ahead and take the soldering iron to the lead. I'm not advising that, but that's what guys do. This place is well ventilated. It's a pretty big place anyway. But anyway, some of them have opted to just straight up solder in the lead straight to the chassis, which works. It's fine. 30 seconds left to go for the end of this heat. Gabriel Kirtley, currently your leader, with 76 laps. Also hanging on to the best lap time currently of a 3.432. Randy Kirtley there in second place in tow. Paul Woosley there in third place, right there behind him. Glenn Burden, 67 laps there midfield, battling out with Guillermo Sire with 67. Bruce Bullington, 65, and Amani, 59. All of those guys there battling each other. Get a car to come off there on purple lane of Guillermo Sauer. He's got the red Ferrari, a beautiful car. I think it's a Santador. I think I'm pronouncing that right. Some of the guys that used to know Ferrari from Formula One days, back 2011, 2012 era. Of course, that's what they ran, was, I believe, a Santador Ferrari Formula One car. Quite quick to give a little bit of a nudge there on orange. Gabriel Kirtley must have just come out there just a hair. Still holding on to the lead by a lap, but Randy Kirtley, like I said, in tow there with the 3.440. Paul Woosley, 3.480. These top three guys really pushing it as hard as they can as we get the auto delay signal there of a red flag, and we are going into our averages here. Like I said, I don't have the usual flashy where we can swap over currently, but hopefully you guys can see that in the top left of your corner. Gabriel Kirtley there with an average after the first heat of 84 laps there made on orange. 82 laps of Randy Kirtley, 79 laps of Paul Woosley, 75 of Glenn Burden, 74 of Guillermo Sire, Bruce Bullington 72, and Imani Baxter 65 total laps. All of these guys within the tee time of just a couple seconds, so that's pretty cool. See these guys racing as hard as they are and still being able to stay on top like that. You can also see our pinball scores for the month there, and I guess it would be over here, just above my left shoulder here. That is for this month and this month alone. We've been doing quite well with our monthly tournaments on each pinball table, as people can come in at their own pace and just give it what for, trying to make that high score. And there over my right shoulder, you see the Livermore Bridge. You hear me talk about that, how special a place that is, where you start in one county, cross a county, and end up back in the county that you started in. It's the only place like that in the world. But anyways, you can see the middle county there underneath the bridge. Minute and 25 seconds before we go back to race. I'm going to take a small break, and I'll be right back with you. A little bit of break there, catching up with Bo McPherson. He was a part of some of our first racing here at Lanes Raceway. He was in the first NASCAR series that we held and did quite well. So it was good to see him again. He's been working quite hard here lately. Gabriel Kirtley right there in the blue shirt as he checks the camera out. He's number one currently right now. Watch your lights, everybody. Here we go. We're going back racing after the 4 lights drop. Wife hits the track call button after being asked twice. So, like I said, she's the one that has control. The guys can tell her track, but if she feels that she can get the cars on in time, we trust her. She's quite good at putting cars back on. Took her a little bit getting used to it when we first started, but she can flat put the cars on good now. Wife hit the track call button yet again. It does get a little bit hectic there when you get more than about 5 or so cars. People tend to bush up a little bit. See Bruce Bullington yet to have made a lap. He makes his first lap there on red. I was wondering if there might have been something up there with his car. I know you guys are having trouble seeing the bottom couple of lanes here, but just to reiterate, Amani there on green lane currently turned 6 laps. His lap time of a 4.069 was his previous lap. Median of a 4.16 and his best lap of a 3.929. Might have to do a little bit of work around there for the LMP Thunder Series. I'll tell you what we can do. Fix that problem right now. I have to. All right, done. Now you guys can see it, and we'll just bring that back up when the heat's over with, so you guys know that this is a Thunder Series race. We're excited about that series. Not to mention several people getting super excited. That's what I was talking to Bo about. Our 10-lap challenge on the VR. Right now, I think the pot's up to $70, $65, $70. And that's going to pay out first, second, and third, the 15th of this month. So, got a little bit of time to come in here and try your luck at it. Try to get one of them scores. If you beat Gabriel Kirtley's time, our previous winner, you'll be able to get $20 extra. So that's incentive alone to come here. Try to put a whooping on him. Gabriel Kirtley, also our current leader here on Slot Car Racing. He has been racing ever since he came out of the womb, pretty much. But he's pretty good at it, I will say that. So, you know, if you get that $20, you've earned it, for sure. And if you get that $20, you'll take his place as best racer for the following next month when we race the same track. And you'll have to try to beat that racer, whether it be Gabriel Kirtley or some other racer. Several track calls being called here. We're having a little bit of an issue of people trying to push just a hair bit deep there on Dead Man's Corner. We all know that how drastic that can change things, hurt things. Work on that later. Randy Kirtley coming to the rest there in the High Banks corner there on the blue. Still representing his blue sides with a red stripe down the center. Calling him Superman now. He actually does have a Superman body now. He's got several names here. One of them, the one that's mostly used, King Kirtley. Guillermo Sire down there on black as he's trying to make a attempt to come back up the list here. Right there neck and neck with Glenn Burden there on purple. As we take a quick look here around the donut, seeing that he's chasing Glenn down the best he can, but Glenn's holding him off. You'll hear Glenn's car come around that purple lane there and just make a turbo sound. Something about Glenn's cars. Every one of them he runs starts sounding like turbos. He gives it beans, sure. Both of them 103 lap. Glenn Burden there with 3.85 average. 3.614 is his best lap. Guillermo Sire there with a 3.529 and an average 3.7. A hair bit quicker. But one wreck will separate that, we all know. There. Wave of the hand to try to get the track call made. Jordan Fulkerson missing out tonight. As I gave him a shout earlier, he's hanging out with friends. He was in our Thursday night race, and he was supposed to make it here tonight, but ended up having other plans. But he's come a long way, I will say that. Most of the racers and guys around here know Jordan. He's been putting in a little bit of work here, trying to get his time up to snuff. We see David Horton there helping track marshal there on the other side of the donut. He was actually racing with David a little bit yesterday, both of them trying to increase their lap speed. David saying he's going to come and probably get in the race next week with us. We do enjoy David's time. David getting back into it. He's been doing it since he was a kid. He's coming back into the game. Like I said, Jordan there, he was running neck and there with him yesterday, both of them helping each other out. But good. Paul Woosley, like I said, his body took some suffering damage from the previous race. Now we're running the Toyota, but I was able to actually get lucky enough to be able to order him another Porsche body. And I'm hoping it comes back in that neon orange with the Gulf symbol and stuff like that on it again. That would be so great to see that body. It's very disappointing how it just took just a perfect shot in the rear end to cause it to tuck. And these stock car racers know when the bodies start tucking, it's all but over at that point. That body, you got to do so much to keep them from tucking. And what I mean by tucking is essentially the body itself just rolls up under the tires and gets caught up in the gear and in the tires, and it makes your car come to a screeching halt. But anyways, this body that he's got on there now, we freshly cut that baby last night, put him a new wing car nose and stiffen up the front end. Help with a little bit of downforce action there, and Paul Woosley's out of the gate there. 118 laps total, 119 now. As we see a car come off the lane there, looks like the Monster Energy car of Lonnie Baxter took a pretty good hard hit there. Red, white, and green. Of course, everybody that has known this track for a long time knows that it really just got the green is a risk it kind of category for me. I'll risk it every time. But red, white, and green, don't forget the blip, of course. The blip area is right there where Guillermo Sire is in the black shirt there on Black Lane. Got to let out completely, let the car settle down, and get back into it. If you don't, sometimes the car comes out. And it'll roll all the way around. Or to unsettle it enough that it comes out in the high bank. Keeping the car straight, 0.7 washer, guide flag washer underneath it helps a lot, but a lot of it is just making sure that you got your car just perfectly in tune with the track. Sometimes cars can go across it and you make 100 and something laps and it never have an issue, but that 101st lap have an issue. So Randy, in the words of Randy Kirtley, that was his words, by the way, it's always best just to get used to that blip, let off and get back in. Let off and get back in it. That way you don't miss that kind of time, but you don't have to worry about your car coming. It's not like a car coming out of there at the donut. Red car, Bruce Bullington. A little bit of slide job action going on there, acting like this is a dirt track. Come around that corner there, and I could hear the back of the body just make a little bit of a pop, causing enough unsettlement to make that car come on off. Bruce Bullington's car, though, daylight and dark difference from what we've seen last week. Bruce, he'll tell you he's a grand tour kind of guy. He's here to have a good time, hang out with the guys, make his car nice, smooth, fast, and run with them. But that car has been running exceptional here for this race. A little bit of trouble last week with it, but it looks like he's got it ironed out. He said he's going to come back with a Lexan wing on the back of it. We're excited to see that. We do allow the wings to be 1/4 of an inch, so that it matches up with some of our higher wings that are on these other LMP cars. As long as they all match up, height-wise, we're good to go. And we've figured out those old, what do you call them? Retro cars, they need about 1/4 inch extra Lexan wings. So once he gets that stapled in or glued in, ever how he wants to do it, I'm sure he'll have a whole lot more rear downforce. But as you can see, his car there just whipping around the high banks next to Gabriel Kirtley's car. It ain't no slouch, ladies and gentlemen. That thing is a speed wagon. And he's probably one of the faster cars here on the track today. But like I said, Bruce, he just loves racing. and he likes to do things at his own pace. He has admitted to me that his strong suit is, of course, the oval, but he is learning the orange track. I think it'll be a matter of time for Bruce before he just right up there with the rest of them. Guillermo Sire just passed Glenn Burden there, now with 138. Glenn Burden with 138. So Glenn held him off as long as he could there, but Glenn will be going to that beautiful black lane also. The beautiful thing about the black lane is how much harder you can hang on and hold your trigger around that donut, especially if you got your tires just perfectly in tune. You can hammer down and let that baby. Since we done the remodel of that donut, actually gave it a little bit more of a hill climb type banking. You can hold it. I mean, quarter throttle, half throttle around there if you got the right kind of tires on it, everything's hooking up. The best thing you can do with these cars, like I said, keep them low, keep them straight, and keep them gripping. You can do that, these cars will haul them in. We're in our second heat here. Randy Kirtley now taking over first. Gabriel Kirtley there on blue lane. And about 30 seconds left to go. My wife's so excited she's jumping up and down. Getting the car there on green lane of Amani Max to put back on there. She does that in a timely fashion. We love to see it. All these guys running extremely hard. See Amani there coming off again. Could be possibly an issue there with the braid. After we go to break, I'm going to probably go out there with the braid roller just to make sure all the braid ain't rolled up and stuff like that. Glenn Burden now taking his position back from Guillermo Sire. Glenn Burden here is not going down without a fight. We see Lonnie's car coming off there, exiting the horseshoe of the track. Like I said, got to get to know the track. Lonnie here has only had just a few races on this track, so definitely doing way better than most, for sure. He's actually staying with the guys here. Only 9 laps down from Bruce Bullington. But you guys know that's just a couple wrecks away from right there with me. But it shows you some of the kind of character and some of the kind of confidence that our racers have when they come here. Of course, we do things a little bit unorthodox here. About to drop my cap, my water cap. I need water here. We do things a little unorthodox here, as we do try to progress each other as a whole. We want, my motto is this: if I'm winning a race and I have something that's a secret, and that secret is letting me win, I just really feel like I'm not winning. And the guys here, man, we're open. So we know some secrets and stuff. We give it just to keep the competition. And I love how that you can tell that just by the laps themselves, how close everybody is. We'll get another auto delay there. Randy Kirtley now your leader after that lap, or after that heat. Randy Kirtley out there with 168 total laps, followed by Gabriel Kirtley with 164. Paul Woosley there with 157. Glenn Burden 154, tied with Guillermo Sire at 154, just a little bit ahead of Guillermo. Bruce Bullington there, 141, and Amani Baxter there with 30. I'm going to take a small break here, and I'm going to go check the braid for the guys and make sure everything's not rolled up or there ain't no issue. And I'll be right back with you guys in about 3 minutes. All right, I'm back. Did I leave my water out there? Thank you. My wife's too good to me, ladies and gentlemen, too good to me. David Horton said he'll be back Wednesday. He's going to give her a shot, come in and do a little bit of practicing. He's wanting to get in here with these guys. Feet wet for sure. So we do appreciate all of our racers. Randy Kirtley in a dead sprint as there's 1 second left to go and these lights are going to drop. Randy Kirtley making his way back around there, but I think he's got plenty of time. Randy Kirtley got me quite a few concert DVDs, but they're all in PAL. I think PlayStation, if I'm not mistaken, can do PAL, but I'm not really. But I got Iron Maiden, Rock in Rio, Metallica, the videos, 89 to 2000, of course, more Metallica, more Iron Maiden. Of course, some of the best pinball machines ever made. Not to get on the subject of pinball too long, but Iron Maiden, definitely my favorite pinball machine. Metallica's right there. If Metallica was a Spike 2, big screen, and scan in and do the points like how we do here at Lane's Raceway over my shoulder. If Metallica was like that, it would be my favorite pinball machine. I love it. It's so simple, and you got it. It's almost like playing a board game. You got certain 4 things to do, get your points up, and rack it home. Plus the soundtrack, of course. I do like Metallica. Got a lot of old folky type music to it, but it's hard rock, you know. And when I play pinball, I usually listen to Metallica. You can ask Glenn Burton, Big Daddy 3. I'm always listening to Metallica. My favorite song, and I watched my brother, this is no lie, Gabriel Kirtley. We were up there at Game Terminal in Tennessee, and I watched him, first game ever playing Metallica, get into the wizard mode, and he did For Whom the Bell Tolls. I actually beat it. So it was pretty spectacular to see that happen. But For Whom the Bell Tolls, that is definitely my #1 pinball song. So if you play pinball out there, try listening to For Whom the Bell Tolls, or am I saying that right? For Whom the Bell Tolls? I'm over here claiming to be a Metallica fan and can't even titles of their songs. But anyways, For Whom the Bell Tolls, Metallica, great pinball song. Daryl Mosier making his way back up just a lap ahead of Glenn Burton. Will Glenn Burton be able to get that map? We don't know. As he did it before, Glenn Burton's tough on this track, ladies and gentlemen. One of the toughest. Bruce Bullington there, 152. Imani Maxter there with 142. I mean, I'm just loving what I'm seeing here, how close these guys are together, this 4-inch race. Having a little bit more race, so we see what looks to be Glenn Burton there, taking the high side, looking like Speed Racer, ripping it up there on the high banks there. But I love seeing these guys so close together. We had that race Thursday. It was a beautiful race. We only had just a few wrecks. Me and my wife quickly put those cars on and got them, I mean, in lickety-split time. It took no time. Seems tonight guys having a little bit more trouble up underneath the bridge. A little bit more than they usually. But like I said, racing, the bigger the crowd, the bigger the pack, it seems like the harder it gets. So we are very pleased with what we're seeing here right now. These guys hardly reckon. 3 minutes and 58 seconds left on the board. Like I said, every one of these racers, if they choose to do a 5,000th or a 7,000th body, they have to start this race and end this race with that body. You don't have to start the series with the body and end the series that same body. Paul Woosley come in here, he was asking me about that earlier, and that's not the case. But you have to start that race and end that race with that body. And this is essentially what happened to Paul, and it's for that purpose. So if you do get involved in an incident and it tucks the body and you're doing a 5,000th body, well, it's going to keep tucking because it's so thin. The advantages of having a 5,000th body is you can be a little bit more aerodynamic. They're a little bit lighter weight body, so you can put the weight down low. The disadvantage of having heavy bodies, of course, your weight's up high and your center of gravity goes up a little bit too, causing you to come out a little. But the positive of having a heavy body. Of course, you guys know the thicker the body, the more strength it is. It's a little built like a tank. So you got to weigh this kind of stuff out when you're a racer. What do you want? A heavy body that's going to be durable, probably make it all the way through the whole endurance race, or do you want to risk it for a lighter weight body? Some of these guys make that choice, make it well, and other guys probably should have went to the latter. Look at a car coming off there in the back stretch there. That looks to be Paul Woosley's car. A little bit high acceleration there coming out of the horseshoe of the track. Randy Kirtley quickly putting him back on white lane. Randy Kirtley, now your leader, pretty substantially there with 193. Gabriel Kirtley on red lane. Second place closest to him was 189. But Guillermo Sires got his sights on as he just took Paul Woosley down. He's got his sights on Gabriel Kirtley as he's trying to reel Gabriel Kirtley. Gabriel Kirtley's best lap, currently the best lap so far, 3.550 on the high lane. Guillermo Sire, of course, for this heat, having the best lap time of a 3.451. Bruce Bullington's car is very impressive on the straight stretch on green lane as he is just cruising down through there. Something to see. Also, the yellow car of Guillermo Sires coming alive now, but looks like he just got involved there a little bit in it there with possibly Burden Sky Active car there in black. Chelsea Kirtley was quickly able to get them sorted out there. We get a huge wipeout. The car even actually going up and over right here on the donut portion of the track. My wife was quickly there to get that car. It looks like it got tucked up underneath Guillermo's car. Guillermo and his Ferrari, white and red, same thing. I ought to grab a body off of the wall just to make sure I'm saying it right. Another track call, another car up under the bridge there. Look, Monty. Still getting his wings wet for sure. As Monty running a pretty good race here with 168, about 10 laps or 12 laps down from Bruce. So, I mean, just a little bit of work there, and that'll be all cold. Glenn Burden there, 194, dropping down third place. Having a little rough go of it, but we'll see if he's able to bridge the gap there. He's got 40 laps to Paul Woosley 39. He might be able to reel Paul Woosley more. Glenn Burden's car coming there on the high bank yet again like Speed Racer. Wife able to get him put back on there. Glenn Burden loves to scrape the outside wall. There's a funny little saying that goes on here at the track. They call it Bobby Pearson. Whenever they come around that black lane and they scrape that body, they say it's just like Bobby Pierce scraping the body. Gabriel Kirtley there on red, his car was fully slung out there on the high banks, but he was able to correct that pretty quick as he's down onto the throttle and giving it everything he's got to go. So my wife has pulled. So my wife has evidently pulled the cord too much, and then somebody hits the button again. All right, Gabriel Kirtley got the trigger clip back up yet again. His car put back on the track there. A little bit of a riding action taking place on black. you can only go as far as the cord will let you go there. My wife evidently pulled just a hair bit longer. She's trying to do all this herself. David Horton, we do appreciate him helping us track marshal for the time that he could. This is all on my wife now currently as we're running the live stream here. Next time, we'll probably put in at least a ghost or two to be able to make it to where these guys can track marshal. But we didn't know that we were going to run into this. So, anyways, not a big deal. We'll get through it. Minute and 43 seconds left to go. Randy Kirtley's still out there currently in your lead, but Gabriel Kirtley there right behind him, 213. Gabriel's not giving up without a fight here. Guillermo Sire there, 205 to Paul Woosley's 202. Paul Woosley having a little bit of trouble there on. I'll be able to get what he needs, but of course all that'll change here shortly. Glenn Burden there, 199 with 46 laps. As he's trying to reel in Paul Woosley and take that position back to fourth position. We get another track call there. Glenn Burden and Bruce Bullington getting a little bit closer together. But Amani coming into his own there, 43 laps. His best, get a little bit of a grip there on Bullington. Trying to be funny. I don't think Randy thought that was too funny. He was heading back to his station, ready to fire it down. I can see the humor in it. Beautiful days we've been having here at Livermore. Nice, breezy, beautiful days. We even had a couple days where we left the doors open. It was so breezy and cool. And the wife's sitting outside. We got a speaker outside. We got music playing and stuff. We make announcements and stuff through it too for racers if they're out there smoking, taking a break or whatever. And we just sat out there sometimes, watch the traffic go by, and it was pretty pleasant. Of course, we've sat out there a couple times and listened to the radio show there on WBIO 94.7 country station. Have racing talk. Let's Talk Racing. Sorry, hosted by a friend of ours, Blake, and we went up there and actually got involved in that, let some more people know about what's going on with Lane's Raceway, and we plan on turning in tonight and Thursday night, giving him an email so that on that race show our racers get recognized for the work that they put in here at Lane's Raceway. Some people wouldn't consider this like real racing, but I do. I believe it takes the same amount of focus, if not a little bit more, higher acuity when it comes to reaction time. I actually believe it does take more. So, because these guys are running these things on the edge to be as fast as they can. Not like real racing where you can get by with not running a perfect lap every time. These races here, you almost have to run a perfect lap to be in the front running, that is. Track call yet again. We got a car stalled out. Looks to be Bruce Bullington's car there on green, stalled out. Probably braids, but like I said, this is insurance, be possibly a motor. Like I said, a lot of these guys have opted to gear their cars a low gear ratio, and if that is the case, it could just be like I said, a straight up smoked motor. Who knows? That is the way the cookie crumbles in these enduro style races. But it looks like his car is in good shape and he's back into it, ripping and rolling, going fast. Like I said, he's got that car in tune. That thing is blistering fast. As he goes right there past the car on blue lane at Romani, like it was sitting still. Now he's chasing down Gabriel Kirtley there on red and just giving it the beans. Gabriel Kirtley was able to go through the donut and the S turns a little bit quicker. If not, like I said, that car is fast, ladies and gentlemen. Randy Kirtley turning 69 laps. Gabriel Kirtley turning 69 laps. Guillermo Sire coming out of nowhere turning 70 laps there on yellow. Paul Woosley 63. Glenn Burden 60. Bruce Bullington 3. And Amani Baxter 58. All these guys, like I said, within just few laps of each other. Smooth racing. Love to see it. Sometimes I wonder if putting the glue on early, if it messes with the guy's flow, and you know, by now the glue should be ran out pretty good to help these guys keep their cars on nice and tight. We can see the back ends of these cars not wiggling back and forth. They just wiggle once and they're rolling on that back strip coming out of the horseshoe there. We see what looks to be Glenn Burton's car there again on black, getting up on the high bank. We also see what looks to be Guillermo Sire's car coming off right there before the red flag rotation. Guillermo Sire there with an impressive average of 77.3 laps, turning 80 laps on black, and there on yellow he turned 78 laps. Good heat for him. Paul Woosley out there just a little bit more there with 79 laps on yellow. Guillermo saying that he kind of suffered there a little bit on black. Glenn Burton having some trouble there on black, scraping the wall there. 67 laps total turn. Glenn Burton there on black, having some trouble. Every one of these racers are now going to take their time and work on their car, as that's the end of our round 3 round robin. Going in round 4 here coming up. Take a small break and I'll be right back with you. Guys in a dead sprint to get back there in time. 3 minutes. Not a long time. But it's made that way for a reason, ladies and gentlemen. This is Duro. We're not meant to stop for long periods of time. We're meant to be on that tarmac going as hard as we can as my wife hurries up and gets those cars put back on. We get a track herd to be called. And my wife quickly gets it put in real quick. What's up, Mike? Come in here and get on this show with me? Come on, Mike. Did you? Trying to get Michael Hazlett to get on the show with us. I'm sure everybody here would love to see Michael Hazlett behind this desk with me. This virtual desk. This is not a real desk, by the way. In the stream, it's fake. But I think it looks cool nonetheless. 4 minutes and 30 seconds. Randy Kirtley there out in the lead just by 4 laps now. Gabriel Kirtley trying to crank it in as he wants to get that lead back. Guillermo Sire there down by about 10 laps from Gabriel Kirtley there on. All these guys, I believe, have opted to turn the track call buttons on themselves. And because we just don't have the track mark. So, nonetheless, they got the control of it. There's a button on each station for them to hit. So when they hit it, go by green. A little bit of a cluster taking place here. Orange lane, Guillermo Sauer right next to him, the man, the myth, the legend, Bruce Bullington. Randy Kirtley running the section black lane. 3.541 is best lap. He's just sprinkling out there. Gabriel Kirtley and Guillermo Sauer running almost identical best laps there. 3.447 and both of these guys really running hard to try to stay with each other or catch each other up. Paul Woosley right there with him, 3.625 on red. That's really impressive also. Glenn Burden there, 3.924. Bit of work needs to be done there. Bruce Bullington, 0.8, a little bit of work also there on Bonnie B there. Down a bit, just talking to him on the go. Not yet got the rhythm for Dead Man's. It's called Dead Man's Corner for a reason. Tough corner to get to know because it kicks over opposite bank, trying to throw your car out. You gotta legitimately brake at the perfect opportune time and let the car settle and then immediately back. It's a tough thing to learn, but everybody learns it at their own pace. And like I said, it don't take too long to figure it out. But it is the hardest part of the orange track to learn. But once you get it, it's all rhythm from that point. So. What a cluster we had there. Only one to suffer loss there was Paul Woosley. Michael Hazlett put on there through the turn. Another little bit of a cluster going on there in the beginning of the turns. Looks like we're kind of getting a little bit of a shift from underneath Dead Man's Corner to the top of the S's. Involving in Randy Kirtley, Bruce Bullington, Bonnie. Yeah. Closer to the microphone. I don't think a voice is getting counted. Something's going on here. People complaining about something. Like it's really anything. Another car there, Bruce Bullington, and looks to be Imani Baxter there getting involved in a little bit of the donut action there. I heard Guillermo Sire say that was possibly his car. A lot of talk going on in drivers panels here. A lot of serious conversation. Unknown to what's going on here. But we're back green racing. Ooh, get almost a straight shot there to the wall from Bruce Bullington. Several people hitting the button all at once. But that's fine. We're back racing. Everything's good. Made it a couple laps this time without a wreck. I don't think there was a follower. Wife hitting the button though. Somebody else hitting the button too. This is the issue you have whenever you have the track buttons on. People just get overzealous about hitting them. So I don't like running them in series, and they shouldn't be ran. But nonetheless, it is being ran tonight. Ooh, hard hit there from Bruce Bullington through the S-turn. Bruce Bullington's car there stalled out. Possible issue is braid being spread from that wreck. A lot of times when the cars come out, they'll get hung up in the center of the braid, or they'll get crooked there, sliding across the track, and they'll spread out, causing them not to connect, or they just too tight up against the body, or up against the guide flag, sorry. Righty toe and heel there. Bruce Bullington, Glenn Burden, and Imani Baxter, they're neck and neck with each other. Bonnie, nice smooth rotation there through purple, looking good. See Bruce Bullington's car coming off yet again there on blue lane. Blue lane not been too kind to Bruce. But other than that, Bruce had a pretty good run so far, especially in the straight stretches. That car is mail hauling. Minute and 48 seconds. We got another track call. I guess somebody's off under the bridge yet again. It has been said that if you learn the orange track, there's not a slot car track you can't go to and be good at. I would have to say that's probably true with the S-turn, the donut, the horseshoe, and the dead man's corner little dog leg there. It's got everything. Everything that you would normally see on a bigger track, whether it be a Blue King or even a black or something like that, a Royal, hill climb, you know. It's got all the aspects of every track all built into one, and I love to see it. It's probably, like I said, when we went to build this track, it's been 20 years ago that my dad decided that we were going to build a track. We all settled on the orange layout, and mainly for that reason. Big amount of fun and a small amount of package. My wife quickly getting the car put back on the track. Gets better and better at it the more she does it. Very quick. Another yellow flag, and quick back on the buttons from the yellow flag. Another little bit of cluster from the guys. All these guys clustering up just lets me know that they're all running relatively close to the same speed. Probably all gear ratios really close to matching. A race down the backstretch and a hard whomp right there into the high banks. 36 seconds left to go in this heat. At the end of this heat, racers, please weigh your cars in. At the end of this heat, do not go to your pits. We're going to weigh them in. So at the end of this heat, we're going to weigh the cars, make sure that they're good. If they're not, there will be a loss of that heat for the individual that doesn't make weight. Bruce Bullington on the other side of the bridge there, coming off a little bit right outside of the donut. 33 seconds left to go. Gabriel Kirtley back in the lead as he takes it from Randy Kirtley. 78 total laps, 3.54 median. Guillermo Sire there over by the weight scales there. Probably not a bad idea. For those wondering, it's probably not a bad idea for sure, because when this thing times up and I'm out there, they're not allowed to go back to the pits. They can go while this timer's clicking down right now and suffer a little bit of a loss. But how horrible of a loss would it be if you suffered the whole heat because your car wasn't weight in tow? That's why a lot of the guys opt to solder their weight in so it does not come off. Some of the guys still use adhesive. It's a risk, but nonetheless, they must meet 105 grams total weight. If it's not in there, they lose the heat. They don't have the weight in there. It's gonna be bad. Six seconds left to go. I'm going to go ahead and end you here as I'm going to go out there and do the weighing. I'll be right back when we're done. Watch your lights. All right, here we go, ladies and gentlemen. That was our weigh-in for this race. Everybody has passed inspection. Some of the guys had some bad luck and lost the weight during the heat. They put their weight up there during the heat, so therefore we have opted to not punish them for that. I need a track marshal, honey. Gabriel Kirtley, still your current leader there with 330 laps, 3 laps in, median of 3.51. Randy Kirtley there right behind him, 3.90. Guillermo Sire there in third place with 3:15, just narrowly edging out Paul Woosley so far there with 3:09 on green. We'll see if Paul will be able to make up some of those laps now that he's on green instead of one of the harsher lanes there of red and, or I think trying to think if I've got that right. Yeah. So he should be able to make up a few laps here. Gabriel Kirtley there, out in front of the whole pack there. First one to turn 12 laps. 3.453 is his best lap, followed by Randy Kirtley, 3.484. Paul Woosley coming off on the backstretch. Randy Kirtley there getting him back on green lane. For Gabriel Kirtley to not be in our previous season, he's right back in the mix, just holding it down. Another guy that was pretty much an arch rival of Gabriel Kirtley in our first series that he ran, Jay Latham, narrowly missed coming tonight. He had some issues with some brakes, so we'll probably see Jay Latham the next series run next Sunday. And of course, Jay Latham, man, he did a box for Clay Dane. I'll tell you what, Clay brought it in here the other night after he got done being out in the field planting, and he brought it by just to see it. And pictures just do not do it justice. I'm telling you, pictures do not do it justice, because that box that I have seen is the best box I've ever seen made in my life. And it's smooth, dovetailed, aluminum siding on it, nice slide outs. You could tell that there was wax put on the slide outs. This thing was sanded down, nice sliders in it. I mean, the whole nine. A big old area to put your power supply, your Dremel tool, the whole nine. Beautiful box, beautiful box. Leather grip at the top. I couldn't get over how beautiful it was. And that's Jay Latham, ladies and gentlemen, a craftsman at making slot car boxes. Hopefully he's going to continue to make them, because they're the best I've ever seen. And I think we got one. I know I'm buying one from him if he'll sell me one. I don't yet have a beautiful slot car box, but I'm in the look for one. And if he's got another one just like it, I want that baby. Plus, I'd like to have one for the slot car track too. Maybe get a good old brand of Lanes Raceway in the side of it and sell that here at Lanes Raceway. But him and his dad Lonnie, I'll tell you what, man, they can build some boxes. They are some of the best I've ever seen. Guys were asking me if this was the only race we're running tonight. I told them, I said, I'm here as late as they want to go. Verbatim, like I was telling you guys earlier, we're going to start a little bit later, about 5 or so, because usually people get off work during the week at about 4:30 or so. They can get here around 5, 6 o'clock. So we're planning on doing that for the summertime hours, but we're going to stay open as long as they want us. Like I said the other night, we didn't get out of here till about 1:30, so that is a trade-off for sure, not coming in as early But coming in towards the evening when it's cooler outside, people coming in, they're ready to do some spot car racing because the day's gone. They, you know, the working, tolling of the day. And then the nighttime, whenever they're ready to settle down, they come on in here for a little bit of racing. I think it's works out pretty good. We get able to keep the electric bill down a little bit more that way too. And it's all about just managing your time. My wife there, Chelsea, getting the purple car of Bruce Bullington put back on there, neck and neck with Randy Kirtley there on yellow. We'll see who prevails here going into Dead Man's Corner. It looks like Randy Kirtley right out of the gate, hardcore down on the trigger as Bruce kind of just let him go. Bruce there doing a nice little purple lane there, really aggressively fast there, like I said, on the back stretch, but kind of cruising through the rest of the track there. Car coming off completely off the track there. We see my wife there picking that car up here. He gets that car put back on. I believe it was Amani's car there that came off. Yeah, our LEDs are doing some little glitching going on, trying to, seems to be kicking back to the previous light setup that we had there, kind of flashing in and out there. You can see there in the upper right-hand portion, getting some pinks, some blues, and some greens going on in there. Like I said, I really just don't think it likes the DC voltage rolling through there on these cars, magnetic flux, whatever it may be. We see the car of Amani's come to a stall there in the S corner of the track. My wife quickly able to get him put back into position. The cars of Randy Kirtley and Guillermo Sire, both of them running the same body. They're running a JK Lola, Type A, I believe it's called. I think Guillermo's running a 7,000 thickness body, where Randy Kirtley, I believe, is running a 10,000 thickness. So that goes to show you that, you know, even though the thickness is a little bit different, they're both running right there with each other. Gabriel Kirtley, the heaviest of all cars currently tonight, running 107 grams, 0.4 or 0.6, versus everybody else right at 105 dead on. But Gabriel Kirtley, your leader right now with the heaviest car out there. 386 total laps turned, 58 this heat alone, 3.51 median. Randy Kirtley there with a 3.52, Guillermo Sire with a 3.60. Paul Woosley there with a 3.59 on green. Glenn Burden, Bruce Bullington, and Amani all in the 4-second category for median lap times. But all these guys right there with each other. See several people in here right now. Still getting involved there with the pinball. Maybe at the break here, we'll take a look and see if any of the scores have changed. See if anybody's moved on up into the scoreboard there. Got 56 seconds left in this heat to go of round robin 5 of 8. We see the car of Bruce Bullington coming off there in the horseshoe portion of the track. Had a little bit of a love nudge there by Paul Woosley's car there on green. Nothing too serious, not enough to cause the cars to be harmed or anything. .40 seconds left to go. Another stopping of track. Plan on also through the live streams here, for those that are watching the live stream, doing a little bit of a giveaway for those that may want to get involved in slot car racing. Thinking about either giving away a couple months free track time, or maybe a free couple race entries if you want to get on down here at Lanes Raceway. All you got to do is in the text portion or on our Facebook page, which I don't know if Facebook's actually connecting now with our text, but it looks like Twitch is working. And I don't know about YouTube either, but if in this comment section of this video, if you're watching this live today, I'll check on it. Just say Go Thunder Series in the comment section. You'll be entered in, and we'll see who can take away some of that free track time or free race entry. I think maybe too later on in our series we might do even bigger giveaways, but I think it's a pretty good starting giveaway. "35 seconds left to go in this heat." Also, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe on all platforms that we do live stream to help get us out there for our racers. Planning on I'm just going to mention it right now. I know it's our first week into this series, the LMP series, but a huge series coming in the fall. It's already been started underway, preparation for that. It's going to be a late model style series, and it'll be a little bit of a different car for the guys, but I think the competition is going to be pretty high in it also, and we're planning on plenty of sponsors getting involved in that. Of course, we love our fall time series. That's when we get a lot of our sponsors for our races, and several of them come in. Of course, once a year they like to do, I guess, a little bit of sponsorship. And our fall time, of course, being the biggest portion of sprint car racing, a lot of people love to race during the fall. We're blessed and pleased to have as many racers as we got during the summertime months in this series. And I can't tell you how thankful I am. But I truly am very, very thankful to all of our racers that come out here, help support Lanes Raceway. I'm thankful for all our pinball players. I'm thankful for just everything. It's been a very big blessing. I thank the Lord Jesus for guiding us and keeping us through it all. And I love seeing people happy. I love seeing them smile. And when it's lively like this in here, there's no better feeling than seeing people just happy, having a good time. At the end of this heat there, round robin 5 of 8, Gabriel Kirtley, your leader, followed by Randy Kirtley and Guillermo Sire there rounding up your top 3 positions. Take a small break and be right back with you, but I'm going to give it over here to Lanes Raceway June leaderboard if you're interested in coming in and trying to get involved in some pinball tournaments. Here's the top scores for this June leaderboard. I'll be right back with you. right, we're back racing. Right out of the gate, already a track call here. In the high banks, you see that Santador red car there of Guillermo Sauer. Right there behind him, Randy Kirtley in the orange car. Well, actually in the blue and red car on Orange Lane. My wife doing an impeccable job track marshaling today. So thankful for that woman. She's such a great woman. Next time y'all are in here, tell her how good she is. Gabriel Kirtley there, 417 laps. Randy Kirtley not having it. He's wanting to try to reel in some of that lap, as he's got 414 total right there. And his lap time best, 3.49 or 3.485. And Gabriel Kirtley's best, 3.615. These guys are neck and neck for sure. It's really going to boil down to the wire with these two. We'll see who can hold their resolve the most. But I do know one thing. King Kirtley does not like getting beat. He does not like it, ladies and gentlemen. Neither does Gabriel Kirtley, for that matter. Guillermo Sauer there, he don't like getting beat, as he's trying his best to come back up in there, too, with 398 total laps. Paul Woosley right there in the mix, too, with 392. These guys are separated just by a couple wrecks from one another. Glenn Burden, he's in the mix, too, from Paul. Just a couple wrecks will separate him from getting him back up on top. Bruce Bullington there in a similar fashion with Amani. Both of these guys having a good time, and we appreciate that. All these guys coming in, giving it the best show. Hopefully by maybe mid-season, these guys will be cutthroat out here, just neck and neck, doing the best that they can. And it comes down to literally the last heat. We've had several times top four guys literally on the same lap, so I'd love to see some more of that kind of race in action as we progress through the series. All these guys very open-minded about letting each other know their secrets and how they do their cars, what gear ratios they're doing. When it all boils down to you here at Lanes Raceway, it's all rhythm that gets you beat. So we love that is a big thing here. We don't have any kind of home team or nothing of that sort. These guys come in. Our class is pretty much open. Like literally, you can come in here and build your own car and race with the guys. Some of these guys have more knowledge about how to keep those motors freed up. Guillermo Sauer is one of the top motor guys I know of. He can sit over there. We heard him today. Paul Woosley said, "You want us to get you a hammer?" I think he was beating on his motor trying to free it up a little bit. But, yeah, whatever he does makes those motors hum, for sure. And Randy Kirtley, he does the same thing. He'll beat on his stuff over there sometimes, too, and everybody asks him if he needs a hammer. So they know some stuff, and they're not afraid to help you out and do the same thing for you. These guys are very confident in the way that they race. And like I said, it's something to look forward to, look up to try to get to that same kind of category. As this is our Pro Series, like I said, very exciting to see these guys battling it out here in the Pro Series. None of this stuff is for the faint of heart. Like I said, 5-minute heats, that's brutally long for what we're doing here. Glenn Burden in that beautiful wide shirt, what a snatch as he grabs that car off a white lane and gets it put back on there. These guys are starting to come into their own here. Very few track calls being made here as of late. These guys are actually starting to come together and race pretty quick here. A couple cars involved in an incident there towards the upper portion of the donut track there. I'll wipe quickly to get them two put back on. Gabriel Kirtley still your leader, 437 laps out there, ladies and gentlemen. Will he be able to hold off Randy Kirtley and Guillermo Sauer, possibly Paul Woosley? I don't know. We get Bruce Bullington's car to come off there in the horseshoe. Guillermo Sauer quick to put him back on the black lane. We do have some more exciting stuff and exciting news coming here to Lanes Raceway. Like I said, the upcoming fall series is going to be a big one, so prepare yourself for that. Get ready for it. We're planning on having a big humdinger for sure. Maybe even have, we've been talking about maybe having a radio host maybe come and help commentate. That'd be a lot better than having me for sure. but having just a day of it for sure when we first start. Also been talks up in the air of bigger payouts. Of course, the guys always love that. Bigger checks, bigger payouts, bigger trophies, the whole nine. But also, our VR is taking off really well. Some information about that. Talked about getting about 4 more machines, linking them up so we can have some VR leads to go along with our block car racing. And several of the guys already explicitly told us that they would be very interested in the VR leagues. Formula One, some NASCAR. Ooh, Glenn Burton there coming to almost a stop there on the white lane, as if maybe some of that white lane got turned up, and Bruce Bullington getting put back on by Guillermo Sire. But not to mention just those tracks alone, or tracks, excuse me. Not to mention just those machines alone. A very popular machine for pinball has just become up available as they're starting to print those out. Me and my brother are actually in big talks about getting another pinball machine for here, and it's one of our bucket list pinball machines, Iron Maiden. Of course, it's one of the most fun, flowing, playing games that I've ever played. I really enjoy playing Iron Maiden. It's just a really good flowing game. Really exciting animations. It's like World War II style animations. It's crazy, like it's pretty cool. It's very hard rock for sure. We're planning on maybe getting that. So just keep your eyes out, of course, on our Facebook page. You know, I love to surprise you guys with new stuff, and that's a big thing. How many smiles can we get out of something? I know a lot of guys are very interested in the new Iron Maiden pinball machine too, because I've hyped that thing up since day one. It's just hard to get them. You know, it's hard to get those Iron Maiden pinball machines. Sometimes you can get them, but then by the time you make the call, they're already sold. And thank goodness they're back in print. I really would like to have one in premium, but I don't know if they're making the premium one or just the pro. Something I'd have to check on. But another pinball machine to the stable wouldn't hurt things at all. You know, pinball is definitely a big draw here at Lanes Raceway. And we have those competitions and we have the tournaments here. We're very involved with our pinball group, and we love to see the smiles on their face when they get that extra point to get them pushed out there to the lead. Of course, this is a good spot for the guys to come watch the stream and check out their pinball scores live, and you know, get a little bit of talk time about our pinball players too. At least the names of the people that I do know about pinball. Some guys and gals that come in and play pinball, they make out their Stern Insider, and I just don't know them, but we'll at least mention their Stern Insider name. We get a car getting involved in 2 incidents there coming through the backstretch, and it looks to be Amani and Gabriel Kirtley involved in that incident. We see Bruce Bullington rounding his way there on the high banks to get the Sky Active car of Glenn Burton put back in line. I think that was the first car that got involved there on the back stretch, hitting the car. But the car, I believe, of Amani's got battered around just a little bit there. We get another little bit of come apart there in the donut section track there. My wife quick to get those cars put back on. All right. So evidently the car in the orange lane wasn't tucked down. That's the car of Randy Kirtley. He definitely needed to be tucked down as he's trying to get those couple laps back from Gabriel Kirtley. Gabriel Kirtley actually only turned 57 laps total there on the purple lane, losing a few laps there to Randy Kirtley. Having some incident issues there, troubles. Minute and 36 seconds left to go. Like to be an incident there possibly in the high banks portion of the track. We get a track to come on and then immediately go off and then come back on there, leaving Bruce Bullington not with a controller in hand. He's got it now, so hopefully everybody's ready to go. We'll see. Here we go, ladies and gentlemen. 4 lights and they'll drop, and we'll be back green racing. And a stalled car down there in the high banks to be Bruce Bullington's car. Hopefully his braids are not too low, spread apart. He'll be able to fix that pretty well. Especially if the braids are tucked a little bit too low. The cuts in high banks are a little bit deeper than the straight portion of the track. Sometimes they just don't hook. That's why we like to always tuck the right tire into the groove. Seems to be Bruce Bullington's having some serious car trouble here. Hate to see it, as Bruce is going to have to do some work on his car for the next minute or so, try to get his thing back up and running. Like I said, 5-minute heats, it's brutal on these cars, ladies and gentlemen. And really, we don't know how long cars are going to make it or what, hot as they're getting. That's kind of the excitement of this race. Can you build a car that'll stay alive through this big gauntlet of the race? Looks like Bruce has got his car back alive. He's back in it. Not to mention the back and forth that takes place also with these guide flags. Getting a whole lot more abuse. 1.5x times the use of a normal race. So they're going back and forth almost double. So 59 seconds left to go. Heat 6 of 8. Ooh, we get 2 cars to come in contact with one another. Red car Guillermo looks like he's still on. He's in that car, the purple car, I believe, Gabriel Kirtley put back on. He came all the way off of purple and slammed him hard. A little bit of a cluster going up. 46 seconds left to go. Bruce Bullington quickly getting his car put back on. Glad to see that he got his car back underway and rolling. Another yellow flag here. More wrecks taking place under Dead Man's Corner. It seems like we're swapping back now from the S corners back up underneath Dead Man's Corner. Randy Kirtley got Gabriel Kirtley within 1 lap. Left to go in the heat. Jeremy Sire, 20 laps or so down from Randy Kirtley. Only 9 laps separate Paul Woosley from Jeremy Sire. Lynn Burden, about 40 or so laps, 30 or so laps down from Paul Woosley. 20 or 10, what would that be? Yeah, 19 laps or so separates Bruce and Glenn and Amani. Another 20 or 30 laps down. Starting to spread out a little bit more as we continue this race on. Big, long heats. We're going to separate a little bit more. But good experience to be made here for all races. Whoa, and what a wild hit there as we go into our red flag rotation. We're going to take a small break during this red flag rotation. I'll move you back over to our Lanes Raceway leaderboard for June. You guys can check that out while we take a brief break here. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we're back. 4 lights. We're going to drop into this round 7 of 8. This one and one more is all it's going to be, ladies and gentlemen. Randy Kirtley, Gabriel Kirtley, $4.99, $500, $500. These guys are right neck and neck with each other. Will Gabriel be able to hold him off? That is the question. Purple car of Paul Woosley getting fixed by Gabriel Kirtley there on black. Gives him a little love tap there. Corners. I know Paul's been missing Gabe. A lot of people have been missing Gabe. He hasn't been here in a little bit. Him to come down and give the guys a little bit of a race, you know, they always love that. They like picking on old Gabe. But him, Gabriel Kirtley and Randy Kirtley, 2 non-slouchers when it comes to racing slot cars, and that's anywhere they go. It seems like everywhere they race, they just do so well. Guillermo Sire also. Paul Woosley coming fresh out of a series win on the oval track. He is holding 4th down pretty good on orange. Took a couple weeks off. He was beating up on old Randy there a couple times. Took a couple weeks off, did some boating, had some good times outside. Can't say I blame him. He's back in the mix here, and Gabriel Kirtley just narrowly pushing Randy Kirtley back down, but we'll see how long that lasts. Man, this battle between Randy and Gabriel is getting pretty heated. Black and white lane. See Randy Kirtley's car there on white lane coming around the donut, just sending it off through the backstretch under the donut again as he reels in. Oh, and he collides there with Lynn Burden's car there on red coming around there. Just a little bit of a back end slip. Just enough there when he slipped through here to just go on the track that gets put back on right here. Randy Kirtley's pushing with everything he's got because he's got to, as Gabriel Kirtley's going to be on yellow lane for the final heat and he'll be on red. This is not what Randy's wanting to see, so he's pushing with everything he's got, pushing more along the lines of above pace, which is not normal for Randy, as he's kind of been on cruise control here the past couple races here at Lanes Raceway. The last time, I guess, that he was defeated, knocked off his King Kirtley throne, I guess, was when Tom Payton surprised him and Wally the day of the big wing race last month. That big wing race is coming up June the 10th, so get excited for that as we got several more wing cars that just got purchased here. So that wing car race might get a whole lot bigger come June the 10th when Wally and his, whoa, as we get a wild wreck coming off of the front stretch there. He gets come off here right into the pole. But yeah, big wing race, looking to be very exciting. Maybe 2 cars here? I don't know. But like I said, getting a little bit more heated here towards the end portion of this race. It always does in racing. Somebody kind of getting a little bit on edge, a little bit on nerve towards the end of it. This is a long race, ladies and gentlemen. It is literally 2.5 times longer than the race. So, I mean, how much mental acuity does it take for these guys to get through this kind of beating and banter back and forth with one another? How many times can you be wrecked by an individual? How many times can you nudge without getting upset? These are the things that just show the resolve of these guys, all of them not too upset. But, you know, you can tell just from the fatigue that it is kind of getting to a few of them just by the looks on their face. This is to be expected. It's human nature, ladies and gentlemen. These guys are racing, you know, I wouldn't say for their lives, but at least for their LMP Thunder lives. Speaking of LMP Thunder, let me throw that up there for you. LMP Thunder Series. What a race we're having here. Leave that up for the rest of the racing in case things change. I'll keep you updated on some of the lower lap times there. Currently Amani there with the 3.974 is his best lap. And right there at perfect time, we get a token exception. So I'm going to have to start that back up. That back over here. Good to go. Quick on the draw, McGraw. All right. Seems like everybody's kind of getting in their mode now after a little bit of a break there. My wife quickly putting Monty's car there back on the middle portion of the track. Monty's still learning the track, but man, for just getting here, I think he races a little bit up in Louisville. You know, he's got a pretty good flow so far. Just starting out, I don't think it's going to be very long at all before he's racing up there in the mix with the rest of them, because he does have a fast car. Right now, rhythm's just the issue. Not a big deal. Once you learn the orange rhythm, you'll be right there rolling. So, Randy Kirtley having some issues here currently. The car blow up? Randy Kirtley just letting me know that he has a stripped gear. He ended up getting involved with Glenn Burden in that wreck that you guys seen earlier that we highlighted. Just a bad course of event that took place like literally back to back there. We had a couple cars even come off the track. You know, these things happen. Of course, you guys remember from the first series, those that have been with us since the beginning, the bad luck of Gabriel Kirtley, Jay Latham, and Tom Payton in our NASCAR series, how they were stripping gears, blowing motors, a bunch of bad luck. There's 8 races you got to run in this series, and like I said, if you can always get them replaced. Randy Kirtley there, not going to be the last time we see Randy Kirtley. I think he'll be okay. Just got to stick it out, and he might just need to run him one more extra race, but he'll run them all anyway. He's Randy Kirtley. He loves running races. But it is very disappointing, especially to run the race as tight as you have been with your son, especially when Gabriel hardly gets to make it down here that much. They were neck and neck within one lap to have that race weekend ended on you because of a stripped gear. The Enduro, I think we're going to see a lot more of that as this series rolls on, because it's, like I said, it's 1.5 times bigger race than any other race that we've had. Hazel crew rolling out. Michael Hazlett just let me know a while ago that he put Glenn down a couple on pinball machines. Of course, you guys seen that in our scene too that we rotate over during our breaks. So Glenn Burton's going to have some work to do on the pinball machines later on. Chelsea there, quick on the draw to get that car, the orange car, Monty back on in a very timely fashion. Monty's very appreciative of that. See Guillermo Sauer taking down Paul Woosley out of second place, or Randy Kirtley out of second place. Randy Kirtley drops hard there to 4th position currently. Will he be able to get his car fixed timely fashion, be able to get back out there, maybe get a few more laps under his belt? Still yet to be seen. Gabriel Kirtley there now with a hefty cushion between him and Guillermo Sauer. Gabriel Kirtley back in the mix, fresh out of the gate. We see Glenn Burton's car coming. A little bit of a flip there in the turns. Possible braid issue there. We do have the braid roll. Maybe later. So she's got her now. Roll that thing out a little bit. It works a whole lot better than trying to press it with your hands. That area right there gets a whole lot of wear. Guys diving too deep, don't have the rhythm just spot on. They end up digging the front of their guide flag up in there. Like I said, running the S-turn, it's very hard to get the rhythm. So we fill it with super glue a lot of the times and let it harden to kind of strengthen that spot up. It's an old track, ladies and gentlemen. You know, got to do the best that you can do with what you got. Super glue sometimes is what you got to do. Probably a major fix would be like pull the braid out, maybe a season or so, pull the brake out, fill her with some epoxy, maybe, I don't know, maybe we just get another piece of wood, who knows. Randy Kirtley back in the mix, ain't keeping this guy down, he's coming for blood. He's there on White Lane right in front of the start finish line next to Glenn Burton. He's going to try to make up some of those laps, maybe be able to pull it up, pull it off in front of there, Paul Woosley there. He's going to have to do some hardcore reeling to make that happen. But we'll see. At least get a couple more laps in here. There ain't no quitting Randy Kirtley, also known as King Kirtley. Minute and 4 seconds left in the heat. Randy Kirtley really pushing hard there now on white lanes. To see him coming through the S turns. A man on a mission as he's driving as hard as he can to catch up some of those laps and doing quite well of it. Maybe a little bit of a comeback story here if he can get into the top 3. He's going to have to make up 11 laps, though, it looks like, to be able to do that. And he's got to do that within the next 7 minutes. Bruce Bulletin coming up there underneath the dead man's corner. Ball there, what looks to be with Glenberg, rolling into each other. So far, it looks like the stream's holding up quite well. Only 3 drop frames. He's doing quite well. CPU only 25%. GPU at 32%. I guess maybe you just needed to restart everything from scratch and do it all over again. And like this, is not very taxing. Really have 2 scenes. But we do have 4 scenes is what it's showing, but I don't need those other 2 scenes. I don't even know why they're on there, but nonetheless, we literally have 2 scenes. This one, and then me showing you guys the pinball time, or the pinball point. And maybe keeping it simple is something that we might need to go do from here on into the future until we can figure out a way to upgrade our PC. But I'm very pleased with the way things have been going. We've been spot on time for time. No delay in any of the video. It's been a very pleasant experience so far. I just hope the sound's been good tonight. I know it's probably going to be a little bit poppy like I'm on a radio or something because of the compression that we've been using because of the pinball tables, but I know how annoying it can be to hear a lot of pinball clatter. When you're not wanting to watch pinball, you're wanting to watch racing. So hopefully everything works out. You guys are pleased. That is our auto delay in the end of that heat there. Gabriel Kirtley there running 577 total laps so far. Guillermo Sire 558. Paul Woosley 547. Right behind him though, Randy Kirtley with 536. Will Randy be able to increase enough laps in this next heat to be able to go ahead and pass Paul Woosley for 3rd place? Who knows? Possibly Paul can hold him off because Paul's been running a pretty good race here. 82 laps on purple shows it. 80 laps there on blue. So he's run a couple there in the 80 section. So Paul's no slouch for sure. Randy's going to have to bring his A game to be able to come and get that. Possibly running a 90 lapper to maybe catch him, which is going to be pretty tough there as nobody has really gotten out of the 80s. Guillermo running the best red lane that we've seen so far tonight with 84. Gabriel Kirtley there was 78 coming in 2nd. Gabriel's going to have to all but blow up to lose 1st place with an average of 82.4 laps. Guillermo Sire doing quite well. Suffered early on with a few lower lap heats, but we'll see how things progress. With 1 minute and 45 seconds left to go, we see in the bottom right hand there Bruce Bullington working on his car. Happy as a pig in slop. Bruce Bullington loves racing cars. We love having Bruce here. Bruce is just one of those guys you love being around. Thankful for Bruce. Actually, I'm thankful for all these guys. Every one of these guys are great to be around. What am I talking about? My wife, exceptionally great to be around. She's right here to the left of me. Best person I know. She said, oh, shucks. Minute and 14 seconds left to go. I'm going to take a small break, talk to my wife a little bit, and I'll be right back with you. T says a happy birthday to Alicia and Amanda on Wednesday. Now I'll be back in a minute. Well, I am glad that wasn't caught on video. I got a little distracted talking to the guys how excited I was about certain events that took place. Told Randy, I said, I'm going to have to interview you after the race because, you know, that was pretty much one of the most eventful things that happened in the race is him stripping the gears. I want to get his input on that and how he felt about it. But, you know, speaking of birthdays, not only Alicia and Amanda, but Paul Woosley and Amani both celebrated their birthday yesterday. And cool that we got two races with the same birthday in here, I think, anyway. So birthdays are in the air for sure. Just like racing's in the air. You know, we got these LMP Thunder Race fast cars going on right here in our summer series. Not to mention we got racing going on at Windy Hollow. We got drag racing. We got dirt racing. And, you know, a lot of fond memories there at Windy Hollow, watching my brother race. And, of course, going and watching drag racing take place. Johnny Case, watching him drag race. Probably one of the best drag racers I know, really. But, yeah, I mean, this is a prime picking area for good racing, for sure. And good talent. These guys have the talent, all of them. Whether it be dirt racing, asphalt racing. Michael Hazlett coming from asphalt racing and dirt. And Nikki Hazlett, too, his wife. So we got plenty of racers that race. Plenty of racers race block cars. It's all good. Everything is good practice, good mental. Like Amani might just be dipping out. He's ready to go on and make his trip home. I might take a small break here and talk to him real quick, and I'll be right back with you. All right, just talked to Amani. He wished for a better race experience tonight. Of course, you know, they're dipping out of the race a little bit early. He understands. He's got to get the flow of things, and we're happy that he had a good time. He's going to get a head start on that 2-hour drive back to the Louisville area, and we do appreciate Amani. Get another car there taking off there on the High Banks portion of the track there. That would be Paul Woosley there on Black Lane. Have too many of those. There's Randy Kirtley there on his heels trying to make up that 10 laps. He's got 3 minutes and 18 seconds to do it. Is it possible? It is possible. But with that knowledge, too, Paul Woosley's probably going to be running a little bit more conservative portion of the race. After the race is over, I'm going to pull aside a couple of the racers and maybe have just the end of the race discussion with them if they'll have me. And maybe we'll talk to them about some segments in the race that they thought was eventful and everything else and get their input. So stick around with us as the race is over with here in just about 3 minutes, and we'll talk to some of the racers and how they felt the race progressed. Guillermo Sire now taking over your second position. Like I said, he come back from the bottom, having some struggles there early on to get that worked out. He's running there right on the heels of Gabriel Kirtley there, 38, 39 laps. Paul Woosley the same, Randy Kirtley also. Randy Kirtley there suffering a horrible amount of bad luck, so we're definitely going to talk to him probably second. But we're going to talk to the winner as soon as this is over with, and it looks like he's 20 laps ahead of Guillermo Sire. But definitely want to get some interviews with these guys and see how they felt about their cars and racing experience. Might talk to every single one of the racers if they'll have us, and just talk to them about what they had, the best part of the race, the least favorite part of the race, several other things. But I do love talking to the guys and getting their input for sure. We can see, too, that the best lap times are really increasing, too. 3.3 in our top 4 here. These guys are really motivating. Like I said, I told you at the beginning of this race, about a 3.3 or so would be about what you would see for a fast time there on red. So, definitely a very, very big rhythm track for sure. That rhythm section, it's like a track of its own there, going through the donut and the S corner and the horseshoe. And then you got the wide open speed of the back stretch and front stretch and the high banks. I'm telling you, it's my favorite track. I love an orange track. So much fun. Once you go to the orange track, you just don't really see the fun as much into an oval track. But I do see the appeal of an orange track sometimes, just simply because it is random a lot of the time. A lot of the time, it's about how lucky you are, where you start at, where you finish. And you keep people out of the red lane when you're on red. But nonetheless, I love all kinds of racing. Slot car is just one that just holds a special place in my heart. And I've always loved getting down there and racing with the guys, going to different cities and racing back when we were younger. And very fond memories. Bit of the scrambling that took place there in the software. Looked like maybe he was trying to catch back up with the screen here. Ben Burden there, quick on the button. His car put back on. See Paul Woosley's car coming off there. Randy Kirtley coming around there nicely enough to put him back on black lane. Randy Kirtley doing 61 laps, a couple laps above Paul Woosley, a minute 27 seconds left to go. I don't think he's going to be able to bridge the gap to get a top 3 here tonight. But that's fine. We're going to get a picture of all the guys here tonight. Get a picture of all these times for sure. I do thank everybody that is on the live stream, whether it be on YouTube, Facebook, or Twitch. Appreciate you guys tuning in and following these racers. There's going to be more to come next Thursday and Sunday. I didn't want to say nothing because we had a little bit of a streak going on there. When I say something, I kind of jinxed the guys possibly. But Randy Kirtley, he actually lost a lap there to Paul Woosley. So Paul Woosley definitely hanging on there. Like I said, none of these guys really slouch it. They just sometimes have bad luck, get involved in incidents, and that's what separates them from the first place to the very last place. 34 seconds left to go. Hear the old turbo of Glenn Burden's car scraping the high banks. Rolls through. Sounds like a turbo every time. Randy Curley gets involved in a double tap there. Burden coming up right behind him, giving Randy Curley a little love tap from behind, but not before he got a little bit of a love tap on the side. Car, I believe, Paul Wood, black one. Bruce Bullington getting another little bit of a chain reaction love tap coming across the horseshoe there as he gets booted off of the orange lane. Rubbin's racing, folks. Rubbin's racing. Guys a little nicer than others. One second left to go. I'm going to go out there and get ready for the interview, and I'll be right back with you guys.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, that's it. That's the end of our second race for the LMP Thunder. And Gabriel Curley is going to take home that victory. Could have been a much different turn of events. Maybe we can get Gabriel Curley to come over here and say a few words about what he's experienced here tonight. Out of the box car. Yes, we do need to weigh him. T, will you do the weighing, please? Or you guys are honest. Keep each other honest. Gabriel Curley, let me get a little with you while these guys are lining up to weigh their cars. So, Curley, fresh out of the box, both controller and car, what was going through your mind today when you started this race and you knew you were up against King Curley himself, Randy Curley? What were you thinking?
Well, he just, I guess he broke. I mean, we were on the same lap until he broke. But that car was pretty good out of the box, and you tuned on it a little bit.
Well, let me ask you a question. If he didn't break, do you think you would have still gave him the beans?
I don't know. We always come down to the last few seconds usually, and usually depends on who gets the coast.
Well, I can say this much. I guess it's just payback from the other night whenever I wrecked in the S-turn and gave him the race in a little LMP practice race before we started the season. So the son's giving it back to him now. It just may not be me, but at least the older son got a little bit of advantage on old King Curley. I'm going to have a little bit of a talk with him, too, here in just a minute. But do you got anything you want to say about today's race and what you felt about the LMP series as a whole?
Well, from what I can see over here, he looks a little pouty over there. I don't know if the gear getting broke. He's just a little chapped right now. So I don't know. I mean, you have to talk to him.
All right, Randy Curley, why don't you come over here and let everybody know how you're feeling right now about the race that just took place and the horrible, horrible bad luck that you ensued there on this backstretch. I think you got hit twice, if I'm not mistaken. He's bringing the gear, ladies and gentlemen. All right, here's your moment that you can just let it all out. I want to know everything. What's going through your mind right now? And I'm going to show this gear while you let everybody know. Here, stand right here so I can show the folks.
Well, I just got in an altercation and it stripped about 6 teeth off the gear.
So during this altercation, because in just a moment, it is badly. And I believe this to be a Mid-America gear. Those are pretty tough gears.
You didn't have any in there to match it, so I had to go count the teeth to know what gear to put back on.
Well, let me ask you this.
Match it.
What do you think caused that wreck there that you got involved in? Didn't you get hit twice here on the backstretch during that wreck?
Glenn and I come through the bank together, and then I got airborne, and it backstretched and ended up.
And you were a part of the second wreck that ended up in the floor.
Yeah.
Well,
And then when I picked the car up, the gear was stripped out on it.
well, let me ask you this, because Gabriel, if you were in that race, would you have put him down, King Kirtley?
Each other the whole race long.
So you don't think you would have ended up beating him at the end of it anyway?
Maybe. It's. Oh.
Okay. Well, Randy, thank you for your time. Let me show the people your gear here. I don't know if this will focus in or not, but you can kind of see there. That baby is busted. Anybody else want to come over here and let us know how you're feeling about the first race of L&P? Guillermo, want to do an interview here? Come on over here, Guillermo. What do you think about what was taking place here and your first bout? I know you had some issues there early on. You want to express your views on what you think took place? Because I think early on you had a little bit of trouble. Yeah. There towards the end you started coming alive. So let me get your input on it.
Well, no, it's just it was my first race on on the LMP, so the first heat I just messed up a lot.
Well, I know you know this, Guillermo. One mess up is the difference between winning and losing, especially on this orange track where it's so equal all the way through. If you didn't mess up on that, do you think that you would have been right up there with Randy and Gabriel Kirtley neck and neck?
Well, I have two bad hits. So between those hits, I lost 20 laps. So, yeah, if I didn't have that trouble. But
what do you want to say to all your fans out there, Guillermo?
nothing. I will keep trying, and I'm going to put another car together now and see. That Gemini appears to be the hot ticket right now. So I'm going to get one.
Well, we got those Geminis in there for you, Guillermo.
Getting one.
Just getting one. Okay. Thank you, Guillermo. All the guys here are getting their pictures taken right now. Paul Woosley there with his Toyota car. But what a great race we've had here tonight, folks. And I'm excited to see the next one come Thursday. And, of course, that after Thursday, Sunday. So, like I said, we're running them every week. And every one of these guys are definitely going to come into their own before the end of this illustrious, long heat enduro race that we call LMP Thunder. This is Don and Kirtley here at Lane. Come in and check us out next Thursday, this coming Thursday. You'll see racer out there on the track. Keep rooting for them. We appreciate every one of you. God bless you, and thank you for watching.